Hey everybody, new video for you today. Figured today I'd do water purification uh, in terms of things that you can buy to do water purification. Um, Later this spring, summer, I want to do an actual outside water purification and show you how to do it without these items, which is a lot harder and of course uh, takes some work to set up, but um, you know, digging pits and using sand and rock, um, stuff like that to purify your water is also another option. Capturing water with traps and things like that. But for this episode, I'm going to show you some of the options that are available for you to purify water. Some of them portable that you can put in your kits to carry along, and some of them not so portable and more for home use or when you're static, that type of thing. Um, so to get started, first I'm going to touch on uh, some well-known, the most common uh, versions of water purification, obviously. Um, and for those that don't know, um, I know there's a lot of people out there that talk about using bleach or chlorine to do their water purification. And those that have seen previous videos of mine when I've touched on water purification, like when I did the packs, the kits, bug out bags, stuff like that, know that I am adamantly against the use of chlorine or bleach as your solution to purify water. And for those that don't know it, well, the basic reason behind it is um, you wouldn't, the amount of bleach and chlorine you're putting in your water, yeah, it's going to be somewhat diluted by the water, the bleach that you put in it. But it's basically as if, if you're drinking plenty of water in a day, it doesn't matter if you're drinking water or not. You're still putting the same amount of chlorine or bleach into your body. Whether it's, like I said, diluted in water or not. Now, if you're the type of person that doesn't have a problem taking a tablespoon of bleach and, just drinking it down raw like that every day, a couple times a day, well then, by all means, you go ahead and have fun with that. Because that's in essence what you're basically doing. Uh, like I said, yeah, it's not going to be as concentrated because you've got it diluted in water, but it's still part of the water. It doesn't go away. It doesn't disappear because you put it in water. It's still part of the water. And bleach is a poison and an acid, which means basically as you take in bleach, it's going to accumulate in your system, and it's going to start to eat your system from the inside out. So if you're relying on bleach to be your go-to water purification method, I would highly suggest that you pay attention during this video and seriously think about changing how you're going to purify your water. Bleach is not a recommended method. It is definitely recommended, for cleaning out containers, things like that you might find along the way to ensure that you've killed all the germs and stuff. And in a pinch, if it's all you have, then obviously, yeah, using bleach is going to be the option. Although if it were me, I'd boil that water first, add a pinch of bleach after. And, boiling is for me, one of the primary methods of cleansing your water, bar none, in terms of if you don't have other options like filters and stuff that are made for it. Along with bleach, a lot of people will buy these tablets, and they're for making, you get the water, you put these tablets in it, and like bleach, they basically sanitize the water and make it drinkable. And there's actually two bottles here. One, should be able to see the color in the caps. One's white, one's yellow. The white one is the actual water purification germicidal tablet, and the other is a neutralizing tablet to help it taste better. So these are not necessary, obviously, for purifying your water, but these are supposed to. I haven't tried these, to be honest with you, so I don't know. But they're supposed to make it taste better. And of course, these are basically, similar to what chlorine or bleach would do in terms of purifying your water. You add 2 tablets to every liter of water. If you don't have those, you're going to taste it. And the ingredients are basically tetraglycine hydropyridide, whatever the hell that is. Some kind of chemical. Each tablet contains tetraethyl iodine. All I know is if I'm putting stuff like this in my water to drink it, it can't be good for my system. But if I don't have anything else, then obviously that is an option. But it's not my option that I will depend on or rely on for purifying my water. Next, and along with this, if this is what you're going to carry or use, then I would recommend at the very least you get yourself some coffee filters. They're lightweight, you can carry a buttload of them. That way you can filter the water and get all the crap out of it, or at least most of it out, before you drop in your tablets or your bleach. Simple coffee filters. And of course, depending on how much crap is in them, you can reuse these a couple of times, but for the most part, you're going to use it, throw it in the fire, and burn it up. And again, this would also go along with, if you don't have anything else type option. The next most popular are products. One is called the Life Straw. I don't know how many of you have seen them or used them, but they're made by a few different companies, the most common being Life Straw, and the other being Sawyer. Alright, and I've got the Sawyer one open already. I'll open the Life Straw one here. And I open this stuff because I have a few. This is, just so you guys know, I don't get this stuff free. This comes out of my pocket. So, keep in mind that I'm not promoting products because I get paid for them. I don't get paid a dime. I don't get any endorsements. I don't endorse them. It's just something I'm doing to give people good, proper information. Because one of the things, like I said, the reason I started the group in the first place was because I got tired of all the experts out there that had no clue what they were talking about. And so I wanted to take my training and experience, my military background, and real life experience in survival, and try to at least give people good, true, proper information. And I'm doing it without, getting paid for it or giving free products or anything else. The stuff that I show, as you know, is stuff that I own, stuff that I've used, and tried for the most part. Some things like these I haven't used or tried, but I know what they are and I know how they work. And for me, I don't use them. If you want to use them, you go ahead and use them. They do what they say, I know that, but I personally am not going to stick that stuff in my body. On the other hand, things like a Life Straw, these I've used. So I know exactly what they do. And the Life Straw, like I said, is one of the most popular brands. It does work. Now in this case, the Life Straw is simply for one person. This is not to normally fill containers. it's something you carry with you. You stick the end in the source of water, and you suck on it, just like a straw. That's why it's called a life straw. In fact, there's even pictures on here. Hopefully the camera can see them. And that's how simple and basic the life straw is. I don't remember off the top, but I think this one filters 1,000 liters, whatever the hell that is in gallons. You know, I'm so tired of this metric stuff. I guess you can look on the internet and find out how many gallons that is. It says liters close to a quart. Oh, whatever, 4 quarts in a gallon? 2 quarts in a gallon? Shit, I don't even know now. It's 2 quarts in a gallon, right? 4 point. Whatever. Anyway, you get the point. So it's 1,000 liters, which is, if 2 quarts in a gallon, then it's, what, 500 gallons this will go through. And then you gotta throw it away and get a new one. Because these are not cleanable. You can't clean them out and reuse them. Unless, oh wait, maybe you can. I might be wrong on that. Oh, you can clean it out to, to get rid of large stuff. You can't clean out like when it cleans out like microbes and viruses and stuff like that. And some of the other limits of the life straw. So you can clean it out just by blowing out the big stuff out of the bottom, but you can't clean it out literally where, clean the filter and it starts over from zero again. But the other things the life straw can't do, for example, it does not remove viruses, heavy metals, chemicals, radioactive materials, or particles smaller than 2 microns, 0.2 microns. Trying to find here. It can filter out basically bacteria or parasites, but it cannot filter out like the flu virus, that kind of thing. That's what I was trying to clarify. A virus is different than bacteria or parasites. So it's something you want to keep in mind. Bacteria and parasites, some of them you can actually see with the naked eye. So things like that is what the life straw can filter, along with detritus in the water, but it cannot filter out like biological viruses, that kind of stuff that's, down to that level. The next one is made by Sawyer, and you can see a big difference in size, much smaller. And I've got another one here. Alright, the nice thing about the Sawyer is it comes with some extra, depending on the kit you get. You can get them independent just like this, or you can get them with a small kit, which I recommend. This allows you to fill a container. You can drink directly from it, of course, or it even comes with a small pouch to fill water, so that you can fill it up if you don't happen to have a water pouch, or you can fill up your own jug, of course, with it. And it comes with the parts in the package for that. Now this one, I gotta look again. I can't remember if this one is specifically able to do viruses. It removes bacteria, protozoa, cysts, and other stuff. So this one is probably also not able to do viruses. I don't have the manual for this sitting here for some reason. I don't really want to open this up. Or maybe I do. Yeah, I really hate packages like this. Let's see. Helpful tips. Yeah, I don't want helpful tips. I want to know if I can. Removes 99% of bacteria, salmonella, cholera, and E. coli. 99% of protozoa, which is cryptosporidium and giardia. But I don't think it'll remove specific viruses, which again are really small. And in most cases, you're not going to find a lot of water sources that have viruses in them. Otherwise, there wouldn't be fish or other wildlife drinking out of the source. Actually, and that's a good point too. One way to tell if a water source is actually viable to be filtered and drank is if you see or can find wildlife tracks around the source of the water, without finding any dead animals, of course. If you see tracks or wildlife drinking from that water source, you can pretty much be assured that it's safe to drink. Of course, you still want to use a filter and clean the water because it's still going to have, you know, giardia and all the other bacteria and stuff in it. Animals have a lot more robust digestive tract than humans do. They can handle all that stuff and without an issue, but for humans, you're still going to need to filter it, clean it. All right, next, those are the two portable things that I carry. All right, and one other point, going back to the bleach and these pills. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to look more up on these pills. I'm not sure if they do or not, but I know bleach does. But if you're worried that a water source may actually have viruses in it, then at that point I would too also, I'd either move on, find another water source, or as a last resort, use some bleach and boiling to kill any kind of virus that might be in it, and then filter the shit out of it. That's what I'd do. So, you know, but like I said, most of your, especially running water, streams, creeks, rivers, that kind of stuff, they're not going to have viruses in them. Otherwise, everything would be dying. All right, the last one I'm going to show. This is the type of kit I have for my home. And I'm going to have to raise the camera. I hope I can. Let's try this. And there are two other brands that I recommend for water purification, especially when it comes to at home. I don't want to pull all this out of the plastic. It's the metal. It's stainless steel, basically, as you can see. I'm going to do this without having to come in. Guess I will take it out of the bag. One thing about stainless steel, it's slick as all get out, so it's hard to pull apart. All right. Now, comes in different parts, as you can see. Stainless. And then it comes with the filters, which are basically what you see in this box. Let's pull one out. This is what a filter looks like. And they're charcoal and some other material. Trying to see if it actually says what they're made out of. They call them elements, by the way. All right. Well, in essence, it doesn't. I'm just skimming through. I don't see if it probably does say somewhere what they're actually made out of, but the point behind this is, we were talking about the viruses and stuff a little bit ago. The two companies that do make water purification systems that do kill viruses, do filter them out, and also are able to pull out heavy metal out of the water as well, are Berkey and Katadyn. And those are two other companies that I fully. This one here is the Berkey. All right, and these are designed basically to supply enough water for your family. You know, enough drinkable, potable water. Looks like 2 gallons per day, or 2 gallons in at a time, that are able to be filled up. Trying to. I don't see off the top how many gallons. Purification. Oh, the nice thing about these here, the Berkey purification elements are self-sterilizing. Don't ever wash them or boil them or use soap or detergent. Not intended for use with salt water though. I don't see a limit to the gallons, and based on the fact that it says they're self-cleaning, I'll have to read more up on it. I've never had to use this one. I've used one similar, which is a lot smaller. This one's a lot bigger. And that one, it actually had a limit, and I think it was 1 million gallons of water. This one, I'm not sure. The nice thing here, too, with Berkey is they actually tell you what it will take out, and it'll remove them to non-detectable levels: pathogenic bacteriocysts and parasites, E. coli, Klebsiella, whatever that is, a bunch of other ones, trihalomethanes, which affect your muscle and nervous system disorders, cancer, whatever. It removes radon, radiological levels, inorganic chlorine residuals, cancer, birth defects, volatile organic compounds. It removes all these. I'm not going to read them all. Plastic, xylene, stuff like that, tetrachloride, a lot of stuff, styrene, ethyl bromide, a lot of different things here. Heavy metals, that lead, mercury, aluminum, cadmium, chromium, and copper. Removes nitrates, nitrites, rust, silt, and sediment. And the other nice thing about these is, if you come across a water source that is contaminated with viruses, What you do with the Berkey is you'll dump in this container. The other one was like 8. So this one I'm going to guess would be, it's probably in the docks. You'd put in about 16 drops of bleach to kill the viruses first in your water. And that's the one good use for bleach, but of course you're not going to be carrying around bottles of bleach if you're on the move. But at home, you're going to want to boil or use bleach to kill the viruses. Excuse me. Once you've done that, but let's say we use bleach, or these little pills that I showed you before, which are in essence basically the same thing, I guess. You're going to use those first to kill any viruses. So if you find and you know the water is contaminated with viruses because there's dead birds and animals laying all over the place, what you do is you'll use the bleach, like I said, to kill the virus contamination within that. And then you'll take that water and you'll dump it through this Berkey, and this Berkey will actually remove the remaining any of the chlorine. It'll remove it. It'll remove any iodine or any other chemicals that you use to purify the water, chlorine, bleach, whatever, and anything left over that was still in the water. So that is one really nice thing about the Berkey, is that if you do have to use bleach to kill, some really, really bad water you found, it'll actually clean out what you used to kill what was in the water in the first place, which is a really nice feature. And it talks about it in the instructions and stuff. And it'll tell you how much to, excuse me, man, I got the hiccups. It'll tell you how much to use and how to, what to use and how to do it and all that type of stuff. I guess I could put this back together. And so it looks, and basically you can do it manually, or you could plug it into a water source if you want. I have it set up so that I can run a recreation at my RV. If you're familiar with campers and RVs, you know that you can pump your own water from the internal tank using a 12-volt DC water pump. Well, I just bought a couple of those. I have them in storage, and if the shit hit the fan, I can run my 12-volt DC water pump, drop a hose down into my well, and pump water that way. And then I can pump it directly in through here, and then into the house, or into buckets or containers or whatever else I want to pump it into. And so that's why for your home you want to have something that is able to really purify and clean the water to the level that makes it drinkable, fully drinkable. Keeping in mind, just keep in mind that straws are there to get you home, whereas something this big is designed to take care of your family. And again, the two that for this type of purpose that I've used and that I trust, because I've used them in other countries, so I know they work, because obviously I didn't get sick or die, are the Berkey, like this, and the Katadyn. And again, Katadyn is another nice water purification. Katadyn also makes some really nice portable ones, but I don't have any because they're more expensive, including some that even have a water pump built into the mechanism. Maybe someday I'll splurge and buy one just so I can show you guys. When it comes down to price, these two are average $10 to $16 or so. Inexpensive, but again, these are for getting you home, not for, purifying all your needs. The Berkey, on the other hand, is for purifying all your needs.
at home.